today is you're going to be learning how division of whole numbers by a decimal, so your decimal is your divisor, is connected to whole number division. So we're going to think about, what do you know about whole number division? So as we're working today, I want you to think, what do I know about whole number division? And then how can that help you with decimal division, okay? Plus what you learned yesterday, which was multiplication of decimals, right? And then here's how you're going to know you're successful. When you can explain the connection and modeling. Turn and tell the people sitting next to you what you're going to have to do to be successful today. All right, so come back together. What are you going to have to do? Explain it and model it. But what are we explaining and modeling? The connection. What are we connecting? Whole number division. So think, what do you know about whole numbers? And connecting that to decimals, okay? Ready to get going? All right, here we go. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Can y'all make bows like that? No. I can't either. I'm awful at bows. I just buy them already done. So, I have a friend though, and they make bows all the time. So they go to the craft store, and they get all their bows, their ribbon, and they make these bows. So they have 6 feet of ribbon. I should say my friend who does this. 6 feet of ribbon. Can you imagine this? 6 feet of ribbon, right? How tall am I? 5'7", a little bit taller than me. That's a lot of ribbon, isn't it? Okay? So, and they need 2 feet of ribbon to make a bow. Okay? I need to know how many bows I can make with that 6 feet of ribbon. Okay? You have some chips at your, and by the way, let me tell you about these. Place value chips. Have you ever seen these before? They're like money, where this says 1 on it because it's worth 1 whole. This says a 10th on it because it's worth 1/10. Okay? So, or you can use your base 10 blocks that you're used to, either one. So, or you can, do they have dry erase markers and things at their desk? Yes. So, you're welcome to draw a model too. Remember, model could be create or draw. So, I'm going to set my timer for just a minute. And I want you to think about, what do you have and how much are you using? How many bows can I make? Are you ready? All right, go with that, and then I'm going to come around and ask a couple questions, and we're going to come back together and talk, okay? Yeah. Yes, in a group. I should have made that more clear. Thank you. You're exactly right. Yeah. So tell me what you know. Okay, so let me ask you a question. He just said 2 can go into 6 3 times. What is the 2 and what is the 6?
How many?
And I want
your 2 is your divisor.
2 is your divisor. Y'all with that? 2 is your divisor. So what does the 2 tell you?
The 2 tells you what you're going to, what you don't, what numbers going in.
To 6.
What numbers going in.
Okay, so do you hear what he's saying? He's saying 2's telling you what number is going into. Here's what my question though. I want you to use this language. Does 2 tell you the size of the group, or does it tell you the number of groups you need to make? Talk to your group and decide which one it tells you.
I think the number of groups.
You got 6 feet, you got 2. What is that? What do you know?
So if you have 6 feet of ribbon and I need 2 feet to make a bow, then how many bows can you make?
Yeah. What do you think?
And you can make, wait, I will think about it. You can make 3.
You can make 3, he says. What do y'all think? Can you?
Yeah.
How does he know that?
Because 3 times 2 equals 6.
Oh, can you write that down? He said 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. How does that help him figure out that he needs 3?
Because if 3 times 2 equals 6, then that means if you have 6 feet of ribbon, then you only have 3 bows, and there's only 6 feet of ribbon, then there's 6 feet of ribbon, and you need 2 feet of
The bows, right? So use this language. Number of group or size of the group. What does the 2 tell you? The number of groups you're going to make or the size of the group? And I want y'all to talk about that and draw a model for that. All right, oh, look at this. What we got going on here? What does this represent?
I think
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I see feet of ribbon.
Gotcha.
So
Perfect.
2 feet.
2 at a time. Okay, so
Count how many 2?
so he made 3 groups. So what was the size of your group?
1.
2. So now let me ask you a question. This 2 is the size of the group you're telling me. In this problem, could the 2 have been the number of groups? Talk to your group. What do you think? Could the 2 have been the number of groups? All right, what's going on over here?
He did Yes.
You did it. I love it. Okay, so talk to me. What's going on? What does this mean? What's happening?
Every 2 feet you can make one bow.
Every 2 feet you can make one bow. Would you agree with that? Yeah. So you were trying to find out what? How many
Bow. You can
bows
make out of 6 feet.
out of 6
And
feet?
every bow is 2 feet.
Okay. So if I'm trying to find out how many 2s are inside of 6 is what you're telling me, right? So let me ask you a question. Was that 2 the number of groups or the size of the group?
The size of the
The size of the group, because how many groups did you make?
3.
3. Question for you all to talk about. Could you have made 2 groups? Could you have made 2 groups with what information you have here? Okay, let's come back together. We're going to talk about what you all have here and what we discovered. Because remember, our learning today is to connect what we know about whole number division to decimals. So we got to make sure we're clear on what we know about whole numbers before we move to decimals, okay? So you guys were talking through this. Let me get up the Elmo. Maybe Miss Lois is sometimes technology challenge, so we'll see. Oh, there we are. Look at that. So let's look at this first model that we had here. Can y'all see that? Let me zoom in. Y'all see that? Here's the little thing that freezes the, I found it. Okay, so I want you to look at that model, what this group did, and I want you to talk to your neighbor or your partners. What is represented here? What does this model mean based on that problem? Remember, 6 feet of ribbon, and there was 2 feet to make a bow. What's the answer? How they represent it? What is this stuff? In a way. What is this? I didn't freeze it quick enough. What does this represent? So talk to your neighbor. What does this represent?
Every 2 feet, they're counting however many holes they have. There's 2, how many, there's 3, or 10 they have. So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 turns, and they're saying every 10 is 1 foot. And they put it in groups of 2. So see how many groups there was. It's 3 groups, 1, 2, and 3. They have 2 rows in each group.
Okay, let's come back together. Would you mind sharing what you said? Let's listen over here. What did you say about this model? What does it represent?
I said that represents how many times 2 can go into 6, because if each group has 2, if we know 2 is our divisor, and we just count 2, 4, 6, that equals 6, so we know our answer is 3.
Are y'all with me? So, okay, so hang on. The 2 represents what? Number of groups or the size of the group? Size of the group. How do we know it's the size? Yeah.
Because it's showing you how many times you can do that.
Right. How many are, I can't talk. How many 2s are in 6, right? And so we have 3 groups. Do you see the 3 groups? 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. And what are those in that problem? The 3 groups represent what? You said it. Somebody said it. Oh, y'all are thinking, you got to ignore that these are based in blocks. Because they were thinking these are holes, right? They were saying this is 1, weren't they? But in our problem, what were we trying to make? Bows. So each of these groups represents a what? A bow. So I had asked a question. Some of you had written this down. I'll talk about this other question. Look at this. 3 times 2 equals 6. I'm confused. I thought you guys just divided that. You just told me it was a divisor. You just said that I was trying to find how many 2s are in 6.
Oh,
Turn and talk to your neighbor. Why did someone write a multiplication equation?
Yeah. 3 times 5 is 15. Well, 15 divided by 5 would be 3.
so there was 3.
They both know.
For sure. For sure. Okay, let's come back together. So why would a person write 3 times 2 when we're dividing? We had 6 things and we're trying to figure out how many groups of 2 we can make. Why would somebody do that?
Because multiplication is the opposite of division, and we can use it in division problems to get our answer.
Okay. So you can. It's the opposite. They're connected, right? But they're connected and not necessarily, they are opposites. But they tell us the same information. What information did we know? The number of groups, size of the groups, or totals. What did we know in your problem? We knew the size of the group was how much?